Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot. Now what you see here is a beautiful piece of artwork that someone I met while I was doing a festival was selling. She actually, I don't know the right word here, but like she brings lightning into the world. She actually has a way to create things like this. See the wood and the lightning bolts and everything through it? It's because she puts electric into it and creates it. And I saw this there. And I just thought it was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So of course I bought it, helping, pay forward the things that people create. That's what artists are there for. They create beauty. And then it's our patron towards them that actually, makes them money and helps them find success. So that's how I began this video, obviously. But it's gotten me thinking, beauty. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. We know that saying very well. But tarot is very, very much art, right? And the more beautiful, the more beautiful it is, the more we love it. And again, it's in the eye of the beholder. So it's not just, this is the most beautiful thing ever. It matters of who's looking at it, who thinks that way. And we're all different in that way. So this is my newest hashtag, the newest one I'm creating. And it's beautiful tarot decks. So I think if you watch this and you're inspired by it, then please, by all means, make that video, share your decks that you feel like are the most beautiful ones out there. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing in this video today. And we're going to start with the Japaridze Tarot. I'm horrible at pronouncing things, as you know, but just take the box itself. The box itself is beautiful. That painting, that artwork and everything, it's just one of a kind. And my husband thinks I'm absolutely nuts because I have at this point 103 tarot decks in my collection, I believe. So I have way too many already, so he says. But each deck, each illustration, it gives us more than we might have had before. Now this is the title cards, of the deck, the guide to the Japaridze, I can't do it. Japaridze Tarot Minor Arcana, you've got that on there. And then I believe there's one for the Major Arcana too. Is it down there? Yeah, I don't know where that one is right now. It's somewhere mixed into the deck. But this does give you the the message and the energy of each of the suits, because they're not wands, cups, pentacles, and swords. It's actually winds would be swords, fire would be wands, tides would be cups, gardens are pentacles. So you've got the air, fire, water, and earth all right there, and you've got the court card titles here too, because other than the queen and king, the page and the page and knight, they both change, jester and stranger. So it is maybe a little bit difficult to read, like if you're a beginner or something, but those kind of elements there, like they say, they very much relate to the cards themselves, like the different energies of them. Like 6 right there is love, and just look at that artwork and everything on it. It's absolutely beautiful the way that these are done. Isn't that the prettiest 5 of cups you've ever seen? The colors and everything, the watercolor of it. I just can't get over how gorgeous this deck is. There's strength. Strength is 11 in this deck, so it's very much the Marseille style with strength instead of 8. But there, like the artwork, it's just incredible. Becoming one with that inner demon, finding the strength to overcome it. Stranger of Winds, like we said, the stranger would be the knight, as we said on that thing right there. So this is the Knight of Swords. Again, beautiful. Death. Just the artwork, incredible. Yeah, this deck was actually the one that inspired me to actually put out the hashtag and everything of the different beautiful decks. And again, eye of the beholder. This might be ugly to you. You might not like it at all. But then in your own collection, you have illustrations that you think are absolutely beautiful. And those are the ones that I'm sharing today. My own opinion of the ones that are beautiful. And apparently, I have a thing for watercolors because this deck, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, how this one came into my life, look at that 9 of Gardens or the 9 of Pentacles. Everything about it, the colors, it's gorgeous. Now, this deck came into my life after one of the people that I follow on Instagram. She does deck calling every once in a while, and she'll put those decks out there, and she'll ask who wants what, and she'll actually send it to you, and you'll send things back, and it's not necessarily money she wants. One time I sent her boxes from phone cases, like iPhones and stuff, the box that they came in, and I gave her 5 or 6 of them for a deck that she sent me, and that was because she wanted to make them into tarot boxes, and that's such a cool thing to do. One time I sent her stuff to make use for journals and stuff, and I cut up magazines and calendars and things like that and sent them to her. So it's not necessarily about money and finances or anything like that. She wanted to cull her decks, and to get more, or just to lessen what she had, and she didn't just ask for money. She asked for other things so she could beautify those. So we all have our different talents and our different gifts. And the way that the tarot is and the way the artists are, Nino Japaridze, I believe I'm getting close. Nino Japaridze is the artist behind this deck. And there's just like nothing else quite like it. The more I go through the cards right here, and I show you very quickly because this is a top 5, so we have a lot to go through, you're just seeing the absolutely gorgeous artwork that there is. The 5 of Gardens or the 5 of Pentacles is right there. Not my favorite illustration. A little secret I will tell you about myself is I hate feet. I cannot stand to look at them. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about them, but yeah, that's like my kryptonite. Ugh, it makes me like squeal or scream like I don't know the right word here, just kind of close my eyes because I don't want to see it. But there, we're past it now. The Jester of Wands, which would be the Page of Swords. The Priestess is the High Priestess. There's a lot going on there, but it's like our subconscious taking the time to look within, dive within, and find out what it meant to teach us. There is the Hierophant and the 4 of Wands, which is the 4 of Swords. Again, the watercolors and illustrations of this deck, they are absolutely beautiful. Hence why it's the first one I'm sharing with you for the most beautiful tarot decks in my collection. 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords, again, beautiful. Some are very much reversed, but this gives me an opportunity to turn them upright. There is the Ace of Pentacles, the 7 of Gardens, actually Ace of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, 4 of Ties, which would be the 4 of Cups. Queen of Wands would be the Queen of Swords. The Chariot is right there. The Star, again, absolutely gorgeous. The Empress, beautiful. Those colors, creativity flowing from that card. The creativity that went behind this deck. There's nothing quite like it. I love it. There's Temperance, 10 of Wands, the 10 of Swords. Is that not the prettiest 10 of Swords you've ever seen? Like, it's sunset, gorgeous, all those bats and everything. It's like it just gives you so much more than you might have had from another deck. And again, a beauty is in the eye of the beholder. How many times have I said that now? And it's just, this is, as I eye it, I'm the beholder right now. You're the beholder. So is it beautiful to you? Like 7 of Tides, look at that one. 9 of Tides, again, Jester of Fire. The moon, look at that eye that's like a jellyfish underneath the water, or on the moon. It might be on the moon, but beautiful. 4 of Wands right there, absolutely gorgeous. The 8 of Swords, again, beautiful, because it shows that feeling trapped in our lives. But look closely, right there, there's the key to getting out of there. 2 of Fire, 2 of Wands, that's the picture that was on the box when we opened it. 7 of Fire, the 7 of Wands. The 3 of Tides are like the horses on Assateague Island around Ocean City, Maryland. Free and just enjoying, playing together and having fun. Absolutely gorgeous. Jester of Tides right there. 8 of Gardens. Oh, wow. I've been through this deck before, but it's just, I love flowing through these decks because it just reminds you how beautiful that they are. There is the 8 of Gardens or 8 of Pentacles. If that's the environment that I'm working in, to perfect my goals, I definitely would enjoy it more because it's so freaking pretty. The world, so chaotic, but so beautiful. 3 of Fire, the 3 of Wands. Rising above the indecisiveness, making the choice and moving forward. Absolutely gorgeous. There's the Ace of Tides, the potential that is there. Not much going on, but it shows what we can do. We can beautify and bring into our lives. There is the Devil. There is the 2 of Wands. War replaces the Emperor, and I absolutely love that meaning on this card. It might be one of my favorite cards in this deck for that reason. There is the Magician, the Queen of Gardens, the 10 of Gardens, the Queen of Tides, the King of Winds, not Wands. King of Winds would be the King of Swords. There is the Ace of Fire, that fire burning brightly within. What can we do with it? What can we create with it? Followed by the Queen of Wands, and she's got that fire in her hand. She's brought it to life. Beautiful. There is the Drown, which the Drown would replace the Hangman with that 12 right there. So, you're hanging. You're hanging there. You're thinking things through. You're thinking outside of the box. There is that title card right there that I was missing, so that worked out well. And last but not least is the 8 of Fire or the 8 of Wands, that volcano exploding. And the colors, again, that's why this deck is beautiful. The artwork, the colors, everything. And there is the backs, so you can check that. Those are the backs. I don't know. But yeah, there's the backs of that deck. So that is the Japaridze. Let's go with that. Japaridze Tarot. We'll put it back in the box because I have 4 other ones to show you. And again, if this inspires you and you want to turn off the video and make your own, go for it. You know, that's what I want to do. I want to inspire and empower. And by showing you my favorite beautiful decks in my collection, I can inspire you to show me yours. Yes. Okay, next we're going to follow that whole thought process of watercolor, because I very much like watercolor things. I'm not an artist at all. That's why I like purchasing other people's artwork. You know, that like a painting I showed you earlier of that woman that managed to make the lightning bolts and everything into art. Like, if you ever have the chance to see her stuff somewhere, I'm not exaggerating, dude. This stuff is incredible. It looks like lightning has just followed the wood. It's incredible. Okay, what we have up next is the Weiser Tarot, created by Weiser Books. I believe it's Red Wheel Publishing, and it's based on the Arthur Rider-Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith. Now, I'll point out there too, those two names right there. You know, we think of, you know, the Rider-Waite Smith, hence this. Rider, you know, that was the publishing company that made it. Waite was Arthur Edward Waite right there, but there is no Smith in that saying when you say it. So it's like Rider-Waite Smith tarot deck, maybe. But Pamela Coleman Smith was the artist. So these guys, we can say Aleister Crowley too, and Lady Frida Harris, the women were the ones creating this art, but the men were the ones thinking of it. So like I said earlier, you know, I'm not an artist at all, but I have the knowledge of the tarot. So maybe one day, if I can find an awesome artist that is willing to collaborate with me, I can become the modern day Arthur Edward Waite, and this other person can become the Pamela Coleman Smith. Okay, all that aside, this is the Weiser Tarot, created by Red Wheel, and it's very much the Rider-Waite Smith, but this is what I believe the most beautiful Rider-Waite Smith known to man. The watercolors in this deck, the colors in general, the little messages they put at the bottom of the major arcana, everything about this deck, it is hands down my absolute favorite Rider-Waite Smith base deck. Like, look at that tower and how beautiful it is. The watercolor and everything. This deck is gorgeous. The greens, the colors of the outfits and everything, the color alone gives you so much symbology that you wouldn't get from other decks. Like, even as I see this deck on a daily basis, when I do like live readings and stuff, when I go to festivals, this is one of the 3 decks that will sit on my table, because not only does it give you a lot of like symbology and a lot of information just from the illustrations, it's just beautiful. I've never seen, and I have a lot, like I said, over 100 tarot decks in my collection, and a few of those are Rider-Waite Smith based, but none, absolutely none of them are as beautiful, I feel, as this one. We're to the major arcana now, and what I was pointing out, we'll see, show it right there. Like down here on the right hand corner, that is the symbol for Taurus. So it reminds us that the Hierophant is astrologically connected to Taurus. This over here, it's Hebrew symbol, and at first, like, I had no recollection, no idea of what that meant. But then I met somebody when I was reading for him once, and I always make this joke. If you know what that means, please, by all means, let me know. And she actually got out her phone, took a picture of that, and Googled it. Sure enough, it comes back and it tells me that is the symbol for the Hierophant of the major arcana. So I guess I knew it all along because it was right there. I don't know how much truth that is, because you can't trust everything you see on the internet. But alas, that might be the Emperor. And that is the symbol for Aries. So beautiful. And the background and everything. Like, this deck, it's gorgeous, right? Maybe I should call this the top 5 most gorgeous decks in my collection. I don't know. I think most beautiful is probably the best thing to call it. But there is the Ace of Swords and the purple and everything. And the thing about the purple, that's the color. I said the symbology and the color is right there too. Like the Two of Wands, that shows the potential for creation, you know, creativity. But the purple, the only way you can get purple in colors is if you combine red and blue. So the red is the passion for what you're doing, and the blue is the logic that goes behind it to create something wonderful. So that's the purple. Purple is my favorite color, so I think I'm extra partial to that. King of Wands right there, the orange, you know, he's taken that idea, he's brought it into reality, he's created it, and now he's living a life that he's very enthusiastic about and loves. If you hear a creepy rolling in the background, that would be nature saying hi, because it keeps wanting to storm here. It seems to happen very often anymore. There is the 7 of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, the 5 of Wands, again, that orange and yellow kind of blending together. The 7, it's nice. The 5 of Wands, I thought it was like, yeah, 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands are right there. But that blue and like dark blue and everything there, it's kind of the almost purple. And it has that logic needs to play a part to decide which of those ideas that emotionally fulfills you, which choice you want to make makes the most logical sense. There is the 7 of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles, the 8 of Cups, the 3 of Cups. Yeah, see, it's so similar to the Rider-Waite Smith, but it is the Rider-Waite Smith. It's just a different color scheme, and it's absolutely beautiful the way that they did it. I love it. There's the purple again, the Knight of Wands, the Four of Pentacles. Hold on to your money for a rainy day, you know, if you need it. But don't lose sight on the things that are more important than money, you know. Staying grounded, staying focused. Knight of Cups is right there. The Moon right there with the symbol for Pisces. Temperance with the symbol for Sagittarius. The Hanged Man with the symbol for Neptune right there. I always think of Neptune. Neptune is really easy to remember the symbol in astrology. I think it might be the one that is the most simple. And I'll go ahead and tell you why I think that. You see there, it looks like a trident. Like you got that underwater thing. Think King Triton of the Little Mermaid. Now you think of the ocean, you think of Neptune, King Neptune or the god Neptune or whatever, who was the ruler of the ocean. So underwater, he had his trident, hence Neptune is the symbol for trident. So maybe that's why they made it that symbol. I don't know. Ten of Swords is right there. The Two of Swords is right here. And you've got the, I just noticed this, which I've noticed it before, but there is the symbol, you know, Pamela Coleman Smith's art, signature right there. There is the Ten of Wands. You know, that signature is on every single card with the Eight of Pentacles there, the Six of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, the Sun, astrology connected to the Sun right there. You got that illustration. You've got the Empress, like just that color and everything, that background, the purple, logic and passion, working hand in hand to create something beautiful. I love watercolor, the way that it's painted and everything. It's like, that's why, like when I do my 3 cards, like 3 decks on the table and tell you to choose between the 3, there's the Fool with the Uranus, the Magician with Mercury. Yes, I keep missing this. But when I have 3 cards, 3 decks on the table to let you choose from, because I like to give you options, I always have a Rider-Waite-Smith on the table. Sometimes it's a different one. More often than not, now, since I've gotten this one in my collection, it's always going to be this one because I love the card so much. Like, it's beautiful. There's the Page of Swords, followed by the Four of Swords, followed by the nine of Swords, not the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Swords. The Ace of Wands there, the green. I love how they made the wand green there. It says stay grounded as you focus on what you want to create. Yes. And what you want to bring in, what your idea is that you want to bring into reality. There's the Page of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Chariot, and there is the symbol for Cancer down there. Strength and the symbol for Leo, the Three of Swords. I love this. I keep saying I love this illustration and I love this illustration. No, but the reason I love this particular Three of Swords, for one, look at that background. It's purple. And if you look really, really closely, there's blue among the raindrops. So it's saying think logically about what's broken your heart. There's that passion that didn't work out. And then up here, the clouds are actually yellow. And I don't know if this was the point of it or not, but yellow to me is creativity. So it reminds you, what can your pain help you create? And that's the energy I've always seen with the Three of Swords. Before the truth will set you free, it'll piss you off. Before you find your place to be, you've got to lose the plot. The plot's been lost. What's waiting out there? Where's your place to be? You've got to take what you've learned from that pain and create it. So beautiful, beautiful illustration there, followed by the beautiful illustration of the Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Wands and the Star with her astrological correspondence to Aquarius right there. The Queen of Cups, again, beautiful. I love the blue and everything in that one. It's just a really dark kind of energy, sort of, but it kind of shows that looking within and finding what makes our heart sing. You know, she's there for everybody else, which is why that chalice, that cup is closed. So she needs to take that cup, like the lid off, and focus on what she can fill it up with for herself. There is the Five of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the Death card, astrology connected to Scorpio. See, that's a nice little touch there that you can use for your own readings and stuff of like, hey, this is the astrology connection there. This is how it relates. Yes. Nine of Cups is right here. Beautiful again. The Eight of Wands, the only card of the tarot that doesn't have any people on it. So that's very, very cool. The Devil is right here. Justice, which Devil is Capricorn. That is that symbol right there. Let's get it up so you can kind of see it. Justice is astrology connected to Libra, hence the scales. He's got the scales. She's got the scales. This person has the scales. Yes, Libra. Ace of Cups, again, beautiful illustration, that blue. I love that shade of blue. It's gorgeous. There is the Lovers, and you've got the symbol for Gemini right there. And last but not least, the Six of Wands. So that is the Rider-Waite-Smith Weiser Tarot edition, the most beautiful, I feel, tarot or Rider-Waite-Smith based tarot deck that there is. Now, I think we're going to go to another deck that's kind of well, it's beautiful in my opinion, but again, to each their own. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Now that last one, that was based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, so I thought, why not show you one that's based on the Marseille style decks that came before the Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the Trionfi Della Luna by my favorite tarot artist of all time, Patrick Valencia. Yes, he's the creator behind the Deviant Moon Tarot, and this is the Paradoxical, or maybe not Paradoxical, but it's the Rose edition. I don't know if it says it on there or not. Does it say it there? No, Trionfi Della Luna English text. There is the cool little face right there. There is the other side of the box. It doesn't say Rose Edition, but this is the Rose Edition. And I think, as far as I know, this is very much out of print. I could be wrong. See the backs? They're extremely simple right there. I noticed something. Yes. There's the little title card. See, Paradoxical Rose. I was right. So there is that. And 333. That's my favorite triple digits. I seriously, speaking of favorite, if you watch my videos enough, I'm obsessed with Patrick Valencia's work. I think my last video was, I am stupid, excited, and extremely impatient for the Deviant Moon Oracle. But this deck is probably the most beautiful, like, Marseille style deck there is. Like, the court cards and the major arcana all have artwork on them. But the thing about the Marseille style tarot is the fact that the pips, they call them pips, like they have the wands, they have the cups, they have the swords, they have the pentacles, and that is it. But there is the Knight of Cups. They've also got oracle cards in this deck, so that's what that is. Yes, very cool, and it has different words right there. Love, top left-hand corner up there. We've got happiness right there. The bluebird flew home at last in the center. Peace and hope right there. So that's a little bit inspiring right there. And the 10 down there, you can read with this, I'd say. But there is that card, followed by death. Death is right there, and that's a fun, like I said, Deviant Moon's my favorite deck. So when it comes to top 5 most beautiful decks in my collection, I very much could argue that was the deck. So I had to throw one in here that has his weird, quirky, yet beautiful artwork there. So you've got that illustration with death. You've got that one with the Page of Swords, and then we get to those pips, There is the 5 of Coins. You've got that one. But, there's not a lot going there with the coins, but the way he does it, there's so much more there. The beauty that comes with the vines and everything around it. That's a fun little 3 of something there. She's got a cup, so it's like a Queen of Cups kind of energy there, and she's going forward to what makes her heart sing. The Fool would be next in this, like the way I haven't mixed them back together or anything like that. So there is the Fool. The colors of this deck, it's absolutely gorgeous. I think this might be my favorite Queen of Wands because all of those people behind her, all those voices, and she's not listening to them. She's focused on what she wants to create, and she's going to go after it. The 2 of Cups, like, just look how gorgeous that 2 of Cups is. The 2 of Swords, again, that sun in the middle or whatever that is. It's beautiful. That's why I think this is probably the most beautiful. This is the Rose edition, and Rose we think of as beauty. So, that's why this one might be the most beautiful. And then he's made like every color of the rainbow of this deck. So I have the purple one, and then I have the illustrated versions of the aqua as well. So, they have blue ones. I think they have yellow ones. And I think at one point he even made one that was all different colors of the rainbow. So, yes. So, pink is beautiful. Rose is beautiful. The colors on this deck are absolutely gorgeous. And everything that Patrick Valencia creates is gorgeous. Yes. Like, look at that. The 7 or the 8 of Swords, the blood drops in the middle. That could be why we feel trapped in our lives. So even if it is just like wands or swords on a card, he puts so much more into it, and it's wonderful. Like, there is one of those oracle cards, and that's very, very fun, very, very whimsical. The lightning would be the tower in this deck. I think there might be a couple, or I might be getting confused with a different one. But that lightning there, that shows chaos. That shows things out of our control, that we have to keep going even if that destruction happens. So there is the lightning, followed by this other oracle card that has the 9 down there in the corner. Beautiful again. I love the colors, like the way they've mixed those colors together. Like there with the 5 of Cups, the aqua or the teal in that along with the pink, they just kind of just go so well together. There is the Ace of Cups. Like, how gorgeous is that Ace of Cups? And then they actually have the tower in here too. So there is the tower. And again, beautiful. Look at the pink and the aqua and the teal. It's just, the colors of this deck are gorgeous. The Lovers in this deck is gorgeous. That 6 of Wands, that is just 6 wands, is gorgeous. The 2 of Coins, maybe not as gorgeous as the other ones, but still really cool the way it says Deviant Moon Incorporated, New York, 2016, 333. So this deck is actually, wow, this deck is probably at the making of this video 9 years old. This deck has existed longer than I've been reading the tarot, because I didn't start that until I was 2017. So there is the Ace of Swords, and the pinky is out. So it's got like SpongeBob energy of, and Sandy the squirrel, when in doubt, pinky out. Yes, that was what gave me that thought there. That's cool. The Magician is right here. Again, beautiful. Wheel of Fortune. Justice. I like doing this because I can flip the cards over. Yes. So there's Justice. There is the devil apparently inside of all those people, like pretending he's not there and ignoring him, and they don't realize he's there. Oracle card, which is 5, so very interesting there. It relates to Hierophant of the Major Arcana. There's some thoughts there, right? Queen of Swords right there. Again, the collar and everything, and the way she's looking towards the past. It's kind of remembering that past so she can move forward, you know, and find what she's passionate about moving forward. There is the 7 of Swords, I feel like it's reversed because of those bat wings in the center. Yes, see, there are the bat wings. There is the Knight of Coins. Very fun, whimsical little card right there. Oracle card number 2 to the High Priestess energy right there with her. The 7 of Coins is right there. The Patience is progress. You know, don't give up. The 6 of Coins is right there. Sharing is caring. You don't really get that energy from here, but it doesn't matter. It's still beautiful. 3 of Cups. Right here, 3 cups. The moon there, very fun moon as well. Like the major arcana, yes, the major arcana, hands down, weird and beautiful. The minor arcana, still beautiful. Maybe not as weird, but like look at the little coins right there in their faces. So yes, they're still very much weird, because Patrick Valencia himself embraces weird and loves weird, and that's why I absolutely love his artwork. Yes, there is the Ace of Coins, the Page of Cups. I love that Page of Cups because it says, you know, too much of a good thing isn't necessarily a good thing anymore, and that Page of Cups is definitely overfilled, so you should stop doing that. So that's another energy that you might not get from other decks. Here is the 10 of Coins, followed by the 4 of Swords. What's growing in the center? Isn't that beautiful? Page of Coins there. You know, he's very focused on that coin, but he's going to have to catch it to see where it can go and what he can grow with it. 4 of Swords is right here. Again, it's right there actually because that was reversed too. So that illustration, I just love how he's put the vines and the flowers and everything in there. You know, Marseille style decks usually don't have that kind of, like, I don't know, enthusiasm isn't the right word, but that kind of like dedication of making it more beautiful than it was before. Judgment is right here, followed by the 7 of Wands is right there. Like the wands alone are beautiful, the greens and the roses and everything like growing there. 3 of Coins is right here. The 10 of Wands is right there. 10 of Wands and the Knight of Wands, there is like hardly any difference whatsoever, right? There, they're the moons, and there, they're the flowers growing. So maybe that is the difference. The Chariot is right there. And the King of Cups. The 10 of Swords, there is that blood and everything. When you take that out of the equation, when you take that negativity and emotions out, then you can begin the next chapter. You know, they're outside of that. So if they pull themselves apart, you know, they can be free of that pain. King of Coins is right here. Strength, 11, because it's Marseille style, just like the Japaridze Tarot. That was 11 too. But that strength there, you know, it reminds us to face our inner demons, find the strength within, to see our own worth so we can find success and be fair to ourselves. So beautiful illustration there. I love it because it's different. There is the 4 of the Pied Piper, catching all of these weird little creatures. Again, gorgeous. 3 of Wands right here. King of Wands right here. Followed by the 5 of Swords right there. The Devil. That is a fun devil, right? The I think it's the illustrated, the first illustrated Pips version of this deck, so you don't have the like 7 wands or whatever on a card. I think that is the one I have that has 7 different illustrations of the devil in it. So when you read with that deck, there is like a way more chance, like 7 in 78, whatever the percentage is there, that you'll pull the devil card. So I think that's really cool. 7 of Oracles right there. Very cool card. Very cool illustration. There is the Hierophant. There is the Queen of Coins. The 8 of Cups. the 9, or is that, yeah, I guess, yeah, it would be the 9 of Swords right there. The 10 of Cups right there. The Oracle card of, you know, finding the good in other people that look like they don't have good, you know, seeing the good in everybody. There is the 8 right there. Temperance. Temperance is beautiful as well, right? The 3 of Swords is right there. So I'll turn it like that. Yeah, I think that's upright. Maybe not though. Yeah, maybe that's upright. I'll leave it like that. Yes. The star is really fun. I love that star. The 9 of Pentacles, or the 9 of Coins, is right there, and the characters on it. She's the beautiful woman, you know, the successful woman that can buy herself whatever she wants. 5 of Wands is right there. The High Priestess, and this I love, 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 love this illustration of the High Priestess. As I have a purple version of this deck, and it, like, 2 other, I think I have like 4 different versions of this deck in different ways and different forms. But so this High Priestess is more than just this pink one. I have her in the regular one, I have her in the purple one, and I have her in the Paradoxical one. So that illustration, the books and everything, that's what it kind of screams to me, that knowledge and wisdom and everything, you know, letting that fill us with passion and everything, with that fire and everything behind her. So she trusts her intuition. It reminds us we can trust ourselves the more we learn from where we've been and the more we've learned from other people. I love that High Priestess. 2 of Wands follows that illustration. Page of Wands is right there. 9 of Cups is right there, and they all kind of flow into those 2 cups right there. So it reminds us that all of our experiences of our past can help us make our wishes come true in the future or moving forward. There is the 8 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, the Oracle card of the Magician energy with the 1 right there, the Hanged Man, who is upright when I had it reversed. Now he's reversed, and it's like a cocoon and everything, and the snake, that wisdom coming into us as we take that time to reflect and think outside of the box. The 7 of Cups is right there. There is the Sun, followed by the Hermit. The 6 of Cups is right there. The Empress is right there. The 6, is that a 6? Yeah, the 6 of Swords is right there. The Knight of Swords is right there. The Queen of Cups with her giant cup that is being filled up with the things that bring her joy is right there. And last but certainly not least is that beautiful, beautiful Ace of Wands with that pinky sticking out, saying, even if you doubt yourself, act like you don't by sticking your pinky out. So that is the pinky version of the Trionfi Della Luna by Patrick Valencia. Like how I did it there, I said pinky out and then called it the color pink because it is the Rose Edition, and Rose Edition is pink. So that is another contender for my list of most beautiful tarot decks. If you're still with me watching this and haven't started making your own video yet, you know, again, I don't think that this deck is still available. I could be wrong about that. You'd have to check DeviantMoonIncorporated.com, their website, Patrick Valencia's website for all his decks, because that's where you'd find it for sure. Because I'm sure there's a bunch of fakers out there, you know, counterfeit versions of this deck that are not the real deal. This is very much the real deal. If I can get it back closed, there we go. And we're going to move on now to a deck is about Christmas. It's my single only Christmas themed deck, and I only use it about Christmas time. Sometimes in the middle of July I'll use it because, you know, Christmas in July is a thing. I don't know why. If anybody knows why, please let me know in the comments. But this is by Hattie Thorne. She lives in England, so the taxes on this deck for the those of us in America might be insane, but wow, like this deck, it's probably the single most beautiful themed deck I've ever seen in my life, you know, because it's Christmas. 7 of Pentacles shows that Christmas tree. The 7 of Wands shows like, 7 of Wands shows like defending our passions about Christmas against the people that rule everything and the authority that doesn't want us doing it. Okay, but it's very much Victorian energy, like Victorian times, like 1880s to 1910, 1912, that kind of energy. And that's always been my favorite time period in life. Like if I had a time machine and I'd go back in time and just live happily ever after in another time period, that would be the time. And that's time, like you think about Rider-Waite-Smith, that was created in 1909 by Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith. So I could have met and lived. If I could go back in time, I could live and be part of the Order of the Golden Dawn. and actually meet Arthur Edward Waite, Pamela Colman Smith, Aleister Crowley, and Lady Frida Harris, and maybe even be friends with them. Like, how cool would that be? But that is, that's the basis, the time period I believe that this deck is mostly in. It might be back to the 1840s even too, because I think it's 1842. Don't quote me on that. The Charles Dickens, A Night Before Christmas, was written. And you know, that's kind of what the basis of our whole Christmas is now, and how it's such a huge staple around the world and in society. All those material things. This time period was when it actually came about, I believe. Like, beautiful. Even the Five of Cups is beautiful. Justice is beautiful. The Three of Pentacles is beautiful. The Knight of Wands is beautiful. Like, they're kind of simple illustrations, but the artwork and the dedication and the beauty that just comes through it. It is hands down, probably my personal opinion, the most beautiful Christmas deck available. I mean, for years, this has been years. I have probably 5 or 6 Halloween themed deck, because Halloween's my favorite holiday. But I wanted a Christmas themed deck, and I could not for the life of me find one I really liked. And then I think it was last year, it might have been the year before, she started selling this one, Hattie Thorndad. And it was like, that's it. That's it, 100%. That's the one I've been waiting for. Like, look at the devil. It's Krampus. It's awesome, and maybe not beautiful, but awesome nonetheless. Maybe I should make a video of just awesome tarot decks. Oh, wait. I think I did make that video. Six of Cups is right there. That Death card. That Death card is beautiful, too. The Ace of Swords. The Five of Swords right there. The Five of Wands follows the Five of Swords. Interesting right there. Page of Wands there. And how cute is that little kid? Yes, that little kid enjoying, you know, he's passionate about Christmas. We're all passionate about Christmas, right? Because it's when we get things and we get to give things. Think how much money we could save if we just didn't do Christmas anymore. Sorry, my own musings. There is Page of Wands. And there is the King of Wands, Santa Claus himself, perhaps. Ace of Pentacles is right there. The King of Pentacles. I like how this deck is like mixed together like this. Like, there's the beginning of the suit of material happiness and financial success. And there's the ending of it with the King of Pentacles. The Knight of Swords is right there. Temperance. Beautiful Temperance card. Maybe not as beautiful, though, as the sun. Just check out that sun and how gorgeous she is. Nine of Swords. Even that is beautiful. This whole deck, right, is beautiful. There's the Moon. The Magician. The Magician. I like to see him as Charles Dickens. You know, he was the magician in his life. He took this idea and he wrote this story that changed the world. That's the power that these artists have. That's the power that we possess. That when we embrace our magic and we embrace our individualism and we take action on our ideas, who knows where they can lead us. Like, we can lead us to creating so much success in our lives. And not only that, but inspire others. You know, his Charles Dickens, like, stories and everything, A Christmas Carol, inspired so much that we see today. The Victorian era, you know, 1880s to 1910, an area of that, inspired so much. So much of it still stands today. I live in West Virginia, so most of our stuff, like most of the big buildings and the towns you see, were actually coal mining towns when they first discovered coal and oil, things like that. And all of those buildings and everything still stand today, and they're some of the most gorgeous architecture you will ever see. Example, if you live around West Virginia, if you live around a town called Fairmont, there is a house there that it takes up like probably an entire block of the main road, and it's like right there on the road across the street from a Burger King, and it's called Highgate. Highgate is now a funeral home, with the carriage house being like a wedding venue. That house, it's just magnificent. Then it was built, I think, in 1905. So it is very much that time period that I'm obsessed with, so maybe that's why I like it. And it's just the history, the architecture, and everything. That is what I find the most beautiful. The things that have stood the test of time. Like, these illustrations remind us, it's definitely not one that stood the test of time. This was not made 100 years ago. But the illustrations are very much those memories, those stories, those things that have come before, and it's just incredible how much thought process went into all of these decks. Like, look at that Two of Wands. It's Mad Men. Mad Men is the vibes I'm getting off of that illustration, but it's like the businessman deciding where he wants to go for Christmas. Judgment, the child angel blowing his trumpet, saying, you know, heal that inner child by forgiving the past. The Four of Swords look really pretty. Lay down and get some rest so you can decide, you know, what you want to do next, what you want to do for Christmas. And that's kind of just the energy throughout all of these cards. The illustrations. Look at that Nine of Cups. You know the Wizard of Oz, the original movie, 1930s, with Judy Garland. The guy that was holding, you know, he was the one that was the gatekeeper when they got into the Emerald City, and you know they said go away, and then she said no, she's here to see the wizard. Look at her shoes or whatever. That looks just like that guy. That guy, like the guy they first talked to, the one that said, "Well, why didn't you say that? Come on in, come on in." That's that guy right there. At least that's how I see it. It's again beautiful. The artwork in this deck is absolutely beautiful. Maybe that's why I left it to next to last. There is no particular order of what decks are beautiful in this. It's just what decks I feel are the most beautiful ones in my collection. Look at the star. The star is beautiful. All of these cards are beautiful. You know, you're beautiful as well. I don't know what you look like, but yes, you're beautiful. That wall, the window shopping and everything there, beautiful. The Four of Wands, you know, they're dancing together around a Christmas tree and just enjoying that strong foundation they have together. The Two of Pentacles, which is very much connected to Christmas anyways, because it's the first decan of Capricorn, December about 22nd to 31st. So she is like the queen of Christmas right there, balancing two different things in order to make sure everybody's happy. There is the Eight of Cups, the High Priestess, the Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles. There is the elf, maybe hard at work making toys. The Page of Swords is a beautiful little girl with a lot of information. She looks kind of scary with her sword, doesn't she? But again, beautiful. Wheel of Fortune is beautiful, is it not? Seven of Swords, the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Ten of Pentacles, generations of family coming together. We do that on Christmas, don't we? Yes. King of Cups is right here. The Ten of Wands. And then last but not least is the Santa Claus version of the King of Swords. It's this deck. Beautiful. Beautiful doesn't even cover it. I love this deck. And I guess I could use it all the time. There's the backs, by the way. But I could use it all the time if I wanted to, but it's like extra special. The way that I do my social media posts, if you follow me on there, on the socials, which if you don't, please do. There, all that information will be in the link in the description below. I share daily readings, very detailed daily readings every single day of the week, full moons and new moons readings, the spreads that I create myself. And then, of course, you know, just random spreads that I share sometimes and just random things that I do. I show different decks all the time when I do those videos. But now that I have the Vintage Christmas Tarot, when it comes time for December, this is the deck that I'll always share for those daily readings. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful deck. And I have one more to show you, and then I'll send you on your way. Not on my way. I have my own way to go. You go your way, I'll go mine. Dark Mansion Tarot. We all know this deck, right? It's by Taroteka Studios, based in Poland, I believe. And this is like Tim Burton artwork, kind of like if he created a tarot deck, this is I feel like what it would look like a lot. A lot of people have that thought, so maybe it's not just me. But speaking of that, you know, if Tim Burton is watching this, or you know personally about Tim Burton, ask him to make his artwork into a tarot deck. I know that would sell like hotcakes. Yes. Okay, deck we have here. You've seen it before. I've made a lot of videos of this deck. We all know this deck, right? If you're an avid tarot collector, you're on social media, and you see decks all the time, you've seen the Dark Mansion Tarot. Just the box alone, look at that fortune teller, how cool it is. Like, she's in her little fortune telling booth. There is the inside of the box and everything. The box is extremely well made. This is one of the most counterfeited decks out there. If you don't have a deck and you bought it on Amazon for like $5, and your box does not look like this, does not open like this, like a book, does not say Taroteka Studios and stuff on the back where you can coherently read it, and your cards are not very good quality. These cards, the quality of them, can you hear that? Yeah, I don't know if that made sense to you or not, that sound, but that was like, show how hard, like major quality, great quality this deck is. This deck has been with me since about 2019. I bought it like when I first started doing tarot. That was the one, like, I love the illustrations in this one. And this is one of those 3 decks that I put on my table every single day. And still to this day, like, people shuffle it, people touch it all the time. And look at it. Look how well it holds up. It's not warped or anything. I cannot recommend this deck enough. This is the Ace of Swords in it. You know, look at that ace and how beautiful it is. I showed you the back, but I'll show you the back again. Like, that back is absolutely gorgeous too. But there is the ace. If you've never met this deck before, then let me introduce you to one of the single most beautiful decks that have ever been created. There's 7 Pentacles. the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Swords, you know, the skull and the skeleton and everything, still beautiful. The 6 of Cups, who always, every time I look at this illustration, the song in my head goes, look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Why are our eyes so red? And what the heck is on Joey's head? Yeah, if you know me, you know that's my favorite band. That's all I'm going to say about that, and that's the energy I get in that card. But it's kind of the energy of the card, right? Because you're in nostalgia. You're reflecting on the past. It's perfect. Yes. 7 of Wands is right here. The single most beautiful devil card you will ever come into, I don't know the word. I was going somewhere with that. Come into, meet, I guess, come into seeing, is right there with the woman devil, and it's just beautiful. The Queen of Pentacles is beautiful. The King of Wands looks like he has some major plastic surgery going on. I just talked to someone about that the other day when I was doing a reading. You know, I try to make them laugh and stuff. But yeah, he's a passionate man, and he knows what lights his inner fire. It's interesting too. There is the King of Wands, astrology connected to Leo. And there is Strength, astrology connected to Leo. So they're right there connected together. And at the time of making this video, it's very much Leo season. So that's interesting they were together in the deck. There is the 4 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, the King of Cups. Again, beautiful. All of these illustrations are beautiful. I do have a slight complaint about the 6 of Wands, though. This card screams 4 of Wands to me and not 6 of Wands. Because 6 of Wands to me is celebrating your victories, no matter how small they might be. You know, the guy riding on in the into the crowd and the horse, and everybody celebrating him and stuff. Yet this card seems wedding. And wedding is very much the energy of the 4 of Wands, is it not? But still, beautiful illustration, right? 3 of Cups there. Death. Death is probably my favorite illustration in this entire deck, and maybe my favorite death card ever. Because look how bored he is. Look how uninterested he is. That reminds us, you know, what didn't kill us made us stronger, and those negative emotions we're holding on, that's what needs to go so that we can find that strong foundation within and keep moving forward and create something new and begin again. So beautiful, beautiful death card. I love that one. There is the Magician, again, beautiful. The 9 of Swords is weird and creepy and beautiful nonetheless. The Ace of Pentacles, all the aces in this deck are probably the most beautiful aces that there ever were. Actually, take that back. These are beautiful aces, but that's not in this video for top 5, and now I'm like, maybe I should have made it a top 6. No, we're going to stick to it. But the Titanic Tarot, the aces in that deck, I think are the most beautiful aces. There is the 4 of Pentacles. That doesn't scream dastardly. I don't know what does. That man looks very, very dastardly to me. So there's the 4 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the 9 of Wands. There is the 9 of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the High Priestess. Again, beautiful High Priestess. They're all beautiful. Here we meet the 4 of Wands, and they're just courting. So I guess that still makes sense for the 4 of Wands because you found that strong foundation, you know, and you're celebrating it with that other person. But again, wedding. Wedding is the energy you usually get from the 4 of Wands. So that's just my little, like, meh. I'm not completely, like, sold on that kind of thing. 4 of Cups right there follows the 4 of Wands. The King of Swords is right there. The King of Pentacles is right there. Look how similar they are in their expressions, right? Yeah, they both look like unhappy and serious. There is Temperance. There is the 8 of Cups. There is the World. The 2 of Swords. The 8 of Wands. The Tower. Beautiful Tower again. The Tower is one of the prettiest cards in the tarot, I believe. The whole meaning of it, not pretty at all, but, you know, there can be beauty when we learn from the pain. 6 of Pentacles is sharing is caring card. 8 of Swords being trapped, a prisoner to our own minds. The 7 of Swords is the thief card of the tarot. The Knight of Wands is the flighty soldier that goes after his passions and then might get distracted and go after a different passion. Connected to Sagittarius, I would know. That's kind of my energy and how I do things sometimes. The Emperor is right there. The 2 of Pentacles, the Chariot, the 6 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Page of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Empress, and I love this energy of the Empress because it's like she's beautiful and she knows she's creating beauty, but like behind her, nothing is beautiful, and it kind of reminds her that she's the one creating beauty. Yes. The 2 of Cups, the Hermit, the Sun, the 5 of Cups. Again, beautiful illustration of a very, very depressing card with the 5 of Cups. There is Justice, and the most, like, my favorite Wheel of Fortune that there is, because it's just, it's so whimsical, and it's just so very much like that 100 years ago kind of energy there, with like the dresses and everything, and that amusement park and that festival and that carnival. There we go. That was the carnival. Did you know that in the early 1900s and the late 1800s that there was no like safety precautions when it came to like Ferris wheels or any kind of like amusement park rides? Yeah, you went on it and you just hope for the best that you would come off of it unscathed. Yes, there is the Star. There is the Lovers. There is Judgment. How much fun is that Judgment card? I love it. There is the Hangman. Even the Hangman looks fun. The Three of Pentacles kind of looks fun too. It just kind of looks like work too. The Two of Wands there. I love that balance act and everything there. It's really cool the way that she's standing there, you know, doing what she's passionate about, making a choice, you know. Do I want to do this or not? There is the Eight of Pentacles, my personal favorite card of the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is my favorite card in any tarot deck. Knight of Cups is right there. The Ace of Cups. And oh, that cup. It's the most beautiful ace. Hands down the most beautiful ace I've ever seen because of that dragonfly right there. And it's like our emotions. You know, when we trust them, we can take our ideas and run with them. Page of Swords is right there. The Hierophant. The Moon. She kind of gives you like Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice. Gives kind of that energy. Maybe that's just me. I like that illustration. There is the Ten of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Wands, again, beautiful. Seven of Cups, the Ten of Wands, feeling overwhelmed by all the things we have going on. Too many irons in the irons on the fire, perhaps. Five of Wands is right there. A whimsical, fun Fool is right there. And I'll leave you with the Page of Pentacles, focused on that coin and what he wants to do with it. That is the Dark Mansion Tarot, another deck that I feel is the most beautiful deck in my collection. I showed you 5 of them. Now I extend the invitation to you to show everyone your 5 most beautiful decks in your collection. The box on this one is definitely probably one of the most beautiful and fun too. But there is the Dark Mansion Tarot that I showed you. The Vintage Christmas Tarot from Hattie Thorne that I showed you. The Trionfi Della Luna right there. I'm going to have to set it like this so I actually have room. The Weiser Tarot. You know, we're wiser because we have all those colors, right? All of those. And the one I started with that I really suck at pronouncing. The Japaridze Tarot is right there by Nino Japaridze. All of these are the most beautiful decks I feel in my tarot collection. But all the tarot, every single deck I have and every single deck that's out there is the most beautiful one out there because someone took the time to do it. Beauty, again, is in the eye of the beholder. So what's beautiful to me might not be beautiful to you. That's why I want everyone to just kind of take this and run with it. You know, this is what I began with. It's beauty. It inspires us to create beauty, you know, light and dark, beauty coming together. We focus on what we love and what we want to create and what we want to bring into the world and bring beauty into it. You know, we can share it with others and then make money off of it too because, you know, who are we kidding? That's why we create things, isn't it? Because we want to make money with it. But if you want a reading with any of the decks in my collection, then feel free to comment on this video, message me on the socials, or book one directly on my website. All of that will be in the description below. I'm going to put a list of all the cards that I have shared in this video. There's the Dark Mansion again. So that you have a list of where you might be able to find it. Again, they might not all be available anymore, like that Trionfi Della Luna. I don't think this particular edition is still available. I could very much be wrong about that. Again, check Deviant Moon's website, deviantmoonincorporated.com. Even type in deviantmoontarot.com, deviantmoon.com. I think you can find the website there too. But, you know, just Google it. You can Google all of these. But I'll put the list in the description below, the ones that I shared again, and like all my socials and everything like that. As always, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to create your own most beautiful tarot decks video. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.